You just saved yourself 80 bucks by doing your own oil change. You're proud, you feel accomplished. You shut the hood, start the engine, and then you hear it tick, 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 tick. That sound, that's the sound of your good intentions about to cost you $3,000 in engine repairs. Now, before you panic and assume your engine is toast, I need you to stay with me here, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what causes that ticking noise after an oil change, why it happens to even experienced DIYers, and most importantly, the one critical mistake that 90% of people make that turns a simple fix into catastrophic engine failure. And here's the thing, some of these ticks are completely harmless. Others, they're your engine screaming for help. So how do you know the difference? Let's find out. Alright, let's talk about the number one reason your engine is ticking after you change the oil, and this one's gonna surprise you because you probably thought you were doing everything right. You used the wrong oil viscosity. Now I know what you're thinking, but I used 5W30 just like it says in the manual. Here's where it gets tricky. Your manual might say 5W30, but it might also give you options like 0W20 or 10W30 depending on temperature and driving conditions. And this is where people mess up. Let me explain why this matters using something called the Y ladder. When you use oil that's too thin for your engine, let's say you used 0W20, when your engine actually needs 5W30, the oil film between your metal engine components becomes thinner. Why does that matter? Because that film is the only thing preventing metal-on-metal contact. And when metal touches metal, even microscopically, you get noise. That's your tick. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about the number on the bottle. If you bought cheap oil, even if it says 5W30, it might not maintain its viscosity under pressure and heat the way premium oil does. It breaks down faster, gets thinner, and boom, your lifters, your valvetrain, your timing chain, they're all crying out because they're not getting the cushion they need. And this is what the dealership won't tell you. Modern engines are engineered with insanely tight tolerances. We're talking about gaps that are thinner than a human hair. Your engine was designed for a specific oil viscosity, and even being slightly off can cause that ticking symphony you're hearing. But wait, because there's something even more sinister going on here that most people don't realize. The second major cause of post-oil change ticking is something called hydraulic lifter air pockets. And this is the one that makes experienced mechanics nervous. Here's what happened. When you drained your old oil, you also drained oil out of your hydraulic valve lifters. These are small cylindrical components that sit between your camshaft and your valves, and they need to be filled with pressurized oil to work silently. When they're full of oil, they're like tiny hydraulic shock absorbers. When they're full of air, they collapse, and you get that tick-tick-tick sound. Now, why does this happen during an oil change? Because when you remove the oil, especially if your car sat for a while before you refilled it, or if you didn't prime your oil system properly, air works its way into these lifters. And here's the thing that drives people crazy. Sometimes that ticking goes away after a few minutes of running the engine. Other times it doesn't. Why the difference? It comes down to oil pressure and flow. If your new oil is the right viscosity and your oil pump is healthy, that air gets pushed out and replaced with oil within a few minutes. The ticking stops. The engine is happy, you're happy. But, and this is crucial, if your oil level is too low, or if you didn't properly prime the system, those lifters might stay collapsed. And every second they're collapsed, your valvetrain is taking a beating. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. Modern variable valve timing engines and direct injection engines have even more complex oil passages. That means more places for air to get trapped, more opportunities for things to go wrong, and that tick you're hearing, it might not just be lifters. It could be your timing chain tensioner that lost its oil prime, and now your timing chain is slapping around like a loose bicycle chain. And that leads to the biggest mistake people make, the one that turns a $20 fix into a $3,000 nightmare. Let's talk about oil level, because this is where good intentions meet catastrophic reality. You changed your oil. You added 5 quarts because that's what the internet told you. You check the dipstick. It looks good. You start the engine. Tick, tick, tick. Here's what happened. You didn't account for the oil filter. When you change your oil filter, you're removing between half a quart to a full quart of oil from the system, depending on your vehicle. Most people don't know this, so they add the correct amount of oil based on their manual, let's say 5 quarts, but they don't account for what's missing from the filter. Now your engine is running 3/4 of a quart low, and here's why that matters more than you think. Your oil pickup tube, the straw that sucks oil from your oil pan, sits about a 1/4 inch from the bottom of the pan. When you're low on oil, especially during turns or acceleration, that pickup tube can suck air instead of oil. For just a split second, your oil pressure drops, your lifters collapse, your timing chain tensioner loses pressure, and you get that tick. But wait, there's more. Because being low on oil doesn't just cause ticking, it causes your oil to work harder. It heats up faster, it breaks down faster, and now that 5W30 you put in, it's acting like 0W20 within a few hundred miles. The problem compounds itself. This is what the quick lube places know that you don't. They always overfill slightly, not dangerously overfull, but they add an extra third of a quart to account for system capacity versus stated capacity. Your manual says 5 quarts, they're putting in 5.3 quarts, because they know that the alternative running low is way worse than being slightly high. Now here's the critical part. If you've been running your engine low on oil, even for just a few days, you might have already done damage. Not catastrophic damage, but damage nonetheless. Your lifters might have scored, your timing chain might have stretched, and that ticking, it might be permanent. But here's what most people don't realize, and this is the part that can actually save your engine. The fourth reason your engine is ticking after an oil change has nothing to do with the oil itself. It's the filter. And this one's going to make you mad because you probably bought what you thought was a good filter. Here's the reality. Not all oil filters are created equal. In fact, some of the filters you can buy at your local auto parts store are absolute garbage. I'm talking about filters with bypass valves that open too early, filter media that collapses under pressure, and anti-drainback valves that don't actually prevent drainback. Let me explain what that means for your ticking engine. When you shut off your car, the oil in your engine drains back down into the oil pan. That's normal. But a good oil filter has what's called an anti-drainback valve, basically a rubber flapper, that keeps oil in the filter and in the upper engine passages, so that when you start your car you have instant oil pressure. Cheap filters? That valve either doesn't seal properly or it's made of rubber that hardens and fails quickly. So every time you start your car, especially after it sits overnight, your engine runs dry for the first few seconds until the oil pump pushes fresh oil up into the system. And during those few seconds, tick, 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 tick. But here's where it gets even worse. Some cheap filters have bypass valves that are set to open at too low of a pressure. What's a bypass valve? It's a safety feature that lets unfiltered oil flow to your engine if the filter gets clogged. Better dirty oil than no oil, right? The problem is, cheap filters set this valve to open at really low pressures, sometimes as low as 8 psi. That means if your oil is cold and thick, or if you're accelerating hard, that bypass opens and now you're sending unfiltered oil through your engine. Contaminants get into your lifters, into your timing chain tensioners, into your variable valve timing solenoids, and boom, ticking. And this is what the parts store won't tell you when they hand you that $4 filter. That $4 decision just might cost you your engine. I've seen engines with less than 50,000 miles develop lifter tick because someone used cheap filters for 5 oil changes straight. The damage is cumulative, it's insidious. And by the time you hear the tick, the damage is done. Now here's the question you're probably screaming at your screen right now. How do I fix this? Let's talk about what you need to do right now if your engine is ticking after an oil change. First, check your oil level. Not just check the dipstick. I mean pull the dipstick. Wipe it clean, reinsert it fully, pull it again, and check it in good light. Your oil should be between the minimum and maximum marks, ideally closer to the maximum. If it's low, add oil in quarter-quart increments until you're at the proper level. Don't just dump in a whole quart and hope for the best. Second, verify your oil viscosity. Pull out your owner's manual and confirm you use the exact specification your manufacturer recommends. Not what your buddy told you, not what worked in your last car, what your manual says. If you use the wrong viscosity, you need to drain it and start over. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than a new engine. Third, let your engine idle for 10-15 minutes and see if the ticking goes away. If you've got air in your hydraulic lifters, it usually works itself out within 10 minutes of running. The oil circulates, the air gets purged, the lifters pump up, and the ticking stops. If it doesn't stop after 15 minutes, you've got a bigger problem. Fourth, if the ticking persists, you need to identify where it's coming from. Use a mechanic's stethoscope or even a long screwdriver as a listening device. Hold it against different parts of the engine, the valve cover, the timing cover, the oil pan. Where's it loudest? If it's loudest at the top of the engine under the valve cover, it's likely lifters. If it's loudest at the front of the engine near the timing cover, it could be your timing chain or timing chain tensioner. This matters because it determines your next step. Fifth, and this is critical, if the ticking is loud, if it gets worse as the engine warms up, or if you have any other symptoms like a rough idle, a check engine light, or loss of power, shut the engine off immediately and call a mechanic. Do not keep running the engine. Every minute you run an engine with a serious oil system problem is a minute closer to complete failure. But here's the thing that most people don't talk about, the preventive approach that stops this from ever happening again. Let's talk about how to prevent this nightmare scenario in the first place, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of engine replacement. Number 1, always use quality oil and filters. I'm not saying you need to use the most expensive synthetic on the shelf, but don't cheap out. A good quality synthetic blend or full synthetic from a reputable brand, paired with a filter from a Tier 1 manufacturer like OEM, Wix, Purolator, or Mobil 1, is worth the extra $20 to $30. Your engine is a $5,000 component. Protect it. Number 2, pre-fill your oil filter. Before you screw on that new filter, fill it halfway with fresh oil. This does two things. It reduces the time it takes for oil pressure to build when you start the engine, and it helps prevent air pockets in the system. Yes, it's messier. Yes, it takes an extra minute. Do it anyway. Number 3, prime your oil system after the change. Here's a pro trick. After you've filled your engine with oil, but before you start it, remove the fuel pump fuse or relay and crank the engine for 10-15 seconds. The engine won't start without fuel, but the oil pump will run and circulate oil through the system. This builds oil pressure and fills all those passages before the engine fires up. It's like foreplay for your engine. Necessary and beneficial. Number 4, always check your oil level after running the engine. Your initial fill gets you close, but oil needs to circulate into the filter and throughout the system. After you run the engine for a minute, shut it off. Wait 5 minutes for the oil to drain back into the pan, then check the level again. Top off as needed. Number 5, keep records. I know it sounds boring, but write down the date, mileage, oil brand, viscosity, and filter brand every time you change your oil. If a problem develops, this information is gold for diagnosing what went wrong. Alright, let's bring this home. If your engine is ticking after an oil change, the most likely culprits are wrong oil viscosity, air in the hydraulic lifters, low oil level, or a faulty oil filter. The good news, most of these are fixable without major expense if you catch them early. But here's your value bomb. The single most important thing I want you to remember from this video: engine ticking is a symptom, not a diagnosis. It's your engine's way of screaming something is wrong. Your job isn't just to make the noise go away. Your job is to figure out why the noise exists in the first place and fix the root cause. Because here's the brutal truth. If you ignore that tick, if you just turn up the radio and hope it goes away, you're gambling with thousands of dollars. Lifters fail. Timing chains stretch and jump. Variable valve timing systems clog and break, and when they do, you're not looking at a $50 oil change repair, you're looking at an engine replacement. So do me a favor, if your engine is ticking right now, don't finish this video and then forget about it. Go check your oil level, verify your viscosity, make sure you used a quality filter, and if the ticking doesn't resolve within 15 minutes of running the engine, get professional help before it's too late. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what's the worst DIY car repair mistake you've ever made or seen someone else make. Because we all learn from each other's mistakes, and your story might save someone else's engine. And if this video helped you diagnose your ticking engine, hit that subscribe button, because next week we're diving into why your engine is burning oil and the 3 things you can do about it before you need a rebuild. Until then, check your oil, drive safe, and remember, your engine is the most expensive thing under your hood. Treat it with respect and it'll treat you with reliability. I'll see you in the next one.